Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work. Our public perception is good enough. If you ask me, reaching out to save Infinity just makes us look weak. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. Oh? Your response tells me Masako must have given you similar advice. It'd be unlike her to not fully exploit an advantage, especially when she believes acquiring Infinity is the right thing to do. Well, it does make Ryujin look good, and we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. Maybe not for a lowly operative, but for me, personally, I think it'll be one to remember. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. That blasted tech.
It would be almost fitting to see the technology immediately turned on those who fostered its creation.
If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. I suppose you're right. As long as I'm fully aware of the risks, I can properly account for them. My first priority will be to get the board and all security members set up with shielding as soon as possible. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd, we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause. Well, the timing could be better, but I don't feel strongly one way or another about the acquisition. We've gone through our fair share in the past, and this one would be no different. If Masako wishes to bring Infinity into the fold, I will not stand against it. I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
If only there were more hours in the day. Great, the bane of my department. If you need something, make it quick. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd is the Pandora's box of corporations. I can guarantee that Infinity Ltd was up to more than just the current charges. The process of finding and following up on all those threads won't be easy. I refuse to be blindsided by another corporation's past, so this is going to take a lot of time and patience. All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset. When it comes to profit, I suppose all my arguments do fall short. I suppose I might be overreacting a little. The benefits definitely exist. It's just, are they worth the risk? Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom. Nice to know someone is. Everyone's too busy praising its completion to think about the dangers it could represent. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Well, that is one very clear position.
Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako's lucky to have you at her disposal, even if you are a continual thorn in my side. You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
If operations starts to bore you, let me know. You make a perfect lab rat for the R&D team. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope. Oh, that's great. I'd say Project Dominion is ready for legitimate human trials in that case. One step closer to seeing market approval. Genevieve is going to be so excited. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp. I'd be the next Ray DeCaris, my childhood hero and mentor. How amazing would that be? DeMarcus, eat your heart out. Don't tell him I said that. He knows I love and respect him. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be? Exactly. Not that I want to gloat over it. Maybe just a little. Okay, so DeMarcus and I have really been looking forward to it, so fingers crossed this deal goes through. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part. This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? And why do you feel it was well handled? Please note I'm not disagreeing. I just want to know the why behind your statement. Being prepared for anything is a great asset, one that Masako excels at. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future. It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one. hence the added motivation that will bolster sales. Ah, your companion. I would be interested in another perspective.
You are naive if you think tech like this will remain under control. Think of the Neuroamp in the hands of a Varun Zealot or Crimson Fleet pirate. It is not a matter of if it will happen, but a matter of when. Will you be equipped to handle the repercussions when that day comes?
What makes you so certain this is inevitable? Not that I doubt the scenario.
Simple. It is human nature. Nuclear weapons, chemical warfare, xeno-warfare, mechs. Enemies and competitors will get their hands on this tech eventually and reverse engineer it to use however they see fit.
I admit, you've properly pushed my concerns to the very edge. Your friend here is quite convincing. The internal neuroamp does indeed come with risks, none of which I am inclined to take anymore. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side? Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. Infinity is that sad company in distress with thousands of employees terrified of their futures right now. We are the warm embrace of security coming to rescue them. I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year. All right, I suppose you've earned the right to voice your opinion after everything you've done, qualified or not. So let's hear it. Of course, which is why I know it requires some very delicate handling. But unlike Alexis, I believe we can get the proper restrictions and regulations in place to have a marketable product. We do it every day with weapons we arm ourselves and our ships with. Don't I know it? I think Alexis and I are truly gonna have our work cut out for one another. We'll discuss security ramifications with Dalton, and I'm sure there are alterations, safety nets, if you will, that we'll need from Vina. It's sure to be quite the undertaking. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is outraged. Had Lucas not been a casualty in our plans, I'm sure they'd be demanding his head. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
At least if you're here, you're not screwing up out there.
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today.
So, Infinity Ltd learned a lesson the hard way, and we exposed the traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. I suppose it is. Gratitude isn't something you typically hear these days in the corporate world. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
There was no honor in Ularu's plan. It did not deserve to succeed.
Not often, and certainly not to this degree. We have the occasional employee consider selling information, but thanks to our security and operations teams, we always catch them before any damage can be done. This was the first time anyone from either department was involved. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
I suppose now you can add climbing the corporate ladder to your list of accomplishments. I must ask, though, are you not at all concerned with where future neuroamp research might lead? Perhaps, but I believe I asked you for your thoughts first. That seems like quite a pessimistic outlook. For now, perhaps. Who is to say Ryujin will not conduct their own immoral experiments at some point? Nothing is so immutable. That seems a poor excuse. And what happens when Ryujin falls prey to the same tactics it has employed and loses control of this technology? With all that you have seen, and indeed done, in reaching this point, why would you believe it is not? Did you just... I know you cannot possibly be attempting to compare my belief in the Great Serpent to this situation. I will consider this simply a very poor choice of words on your part. I cannot bring myself to trust Ryujin the way you seem to. I only hope, for all our sakes, that trust is not misplaced.
Of all the places in the galaxy, only Neon can make me feel so damn... oily. And you dealt with its absolute worst. Ryujin, Infinity LTD, all of it. You doing alright? That was a lot. I mean, there's a reason Neon attracts so many people. It's the city of vice. As much as you might hate it, it's just full of temptation. How come no matter how advanced society gets, we still just can't help coming up with new horrors to inflict on ourselves? Mechs, xeno-warfare, and now this neuroamp tech. I swear, it's the worst yet. And you just let them keep working on it. It's worse, far worse. The other tech is capable of untold destruction, but with the neuroamp, they can take away your very body. They can make you do any damn thing they want. I can't think of anything more terrifying. Well, that's a cheery thought. It's true, but... with a piece of work like Ryujin, I know there isn't a good person to put in charge. I mean, I guess Masako's better than Ularu Chen, but you just know if violence, or being just plain evil was the path of least resistance, then Masako would pick it same as Ularu. I know, it's unfair. The whole situation just makes me want to punch a wall. Well, the whole damned affair is over. Thank God.
Neon. You think it would be peaceful with all those calm waters and beautiful sunsets. But I can't think of any town that's more stressful. Ryujin, Infinity LTD, and there you were, navigating corporate bureaucracy like a professional. I hear you. Look, I know Neon is going to be Neon, no matter what any of us do about it. But you just let them keep working on that neural amp tech? Really? Had a chance to rethink your actions since then, I hope. I'm sure they try to tell you all the ways it could help people. Stopping enemies before they can do harm. Maybe even helping people with neural damage, right? But you know it won't be like that. Not really. But if the bottom line is money, then this isn't going to benefit them. It'll be used to dominate them. Of course not. This is their business. Convincing people to take risks that aren't in their best interest. I know you were hoping for the best, but they knew that and used it against you. I just hope somebody within their own ranks is able to derail it now. Anyway, not that I care a ton about the internal politics of some ethically dubious megacorp, but... So Masako, huh? I mean, between her and Ularu Chen, I get it, but you don't trust her, do you? Sometimes the least worst option is all we can get. Anyway, you didn't happen to pick up any investment tips while you were in there. Just kidding. I don't even want to know.